welcome to JG's Fight Talk, and with me now, Rhys Moran. How you doing, Rhys?
That's me. You got my name right anyway. The first ever Englishman to get my name right.
Mate, that's it. Interview over. I'm on a high.
Thanks, yeah. I'll see you next week. Right, go on.
How you doing, Rhys? You all right, mate?
Not too bad, Joel. Thanks for having me on. It's a pleasure to be on.
Mate. You're welcome. So, fight week coming up, 20th of March.
Looking forward to it.
The invasion of the Irish in Belgium.
Yeah, look, it's been a long time coming for me, and a couple of other lads.
Over a year, isn't it? Over a year now. Is it January 2020, your last fight?
February, 1st of February, not too far off.
Yeah,
1st of February. Yeah, you get a point for that, I suppose.
Yeah.
The 1st of February last year. 1st of February last year I made my debut against Andy Bishop, a good tough guy, you know. I done really well, controlled the fight, just boxed the way my coach Pascal Collins told me how to fight, you know, and I just breezed through it myself personally. I think that I done really well. So it's been a frustrating year for me, to be honest, with everything that went on with the whole pandemic and stuff. After probably a couple of weeks after the debut, I was obviously, as anyone would be on a high from them making their professional debut, and that was a dream for me, you know. And then to have a phone call to say that I could be fighting in on a home show in just my second fight in front of 3,000 people in an arena in my own hometown meant the world to me. And that was meant to happen. I fought the 1st of February. It was meant to happen in May, the 9th of May. It was rankings too, and there was meant to be a couple of title fights on. It was meant to be a big enough show, and they were hoping to get it televised. So to me, that was a huge thing, you know. I was getting this opportunity to fight in front of everybody in my home city, in just my second pro fight. That meant everything to me, and obviously with everything that had happened, the show couldn't go ahead, and they tried to just get it televised and do a bubble kind of a thing, and it just didn't happen. And I suppose then the takeaways and the chocolate and saying that I'll go for a run tomorrow, or I'll go for one this evening, and look, I'll leave it till the morning, and then that never happens, and that continues. And then I just kind of fell into a little bit of a rut, and I think a lot of people did, you know. And like your mental side of things kind of start to come into play, you know. Why are you sitting down all the time, you know? Why are you lying in bed that extra time and struggling to get up out of bed? And to be honest with you,
routine's gone, isn't it?
Yeah, and like boxing's everything to me, routine wise, you know. Like, you're used to training every day, and you're used to doing like even the bare minimum of training a couple of days out of the week when you're on your off season for all the world. And just we're in a group chat with the lads, you know, and the only bit of positivity you're getting is from the boys, you know. And we're throwing in different kind of things, you know, like we could go for an odd run and we'd slag each other, you know, and obviously as men do, and we were trying to bounce off each other to kind of keep each other active. But like, to be honest with you, Joel, it wasn't all bad for me, considering the situations I have. I have two little girls. One of them is 2 and one is 1. But my eldest girl, she was a premature baby, and she had a fairly rough start to her life. Joel, you gone?
No, I've got you, mate. I've got you.
Yeah. She had a fairly rough start. She came into the world 2 months early. Her lungs weren't supporting her, and I nearly lost my partner to labour, and it was just crazy. And then that was kind of like towards the end of my amateur career, I just had no support kind of in the amateur background, you know, and I started chatting to Spike and stuff like that, and she started to obviously come around, and we got her home, and within a year after that, I kind of gave 2 more fights in the amateurs, and I just said to myself, look, this kid has shown me everything, you know, everything and anything to fight for, really, like, because at one stage I didn't think I was going to have my partner, and then 2 weeks after that, then we were hoping on results and tests and stuff to see if we could have her, my little girl Reina is her name, to be still here, you know, and she just made severe amount of progress, you know, and that meant the world to me, and my 2 girls mean the world to me, you know, and like they gave me a reason to fight. So I just sat down and I said to myself, I don't really even like the amateurs anyway. Let's start doing something that I want to do, you know, let's make boxing happy again. Yeah, and these were the things that were kind of persuading me to turn pro as well. And I was getting unfair decisions, and I just wasn't getting that break that I thought I deserved, you know, and I wasn't getting the training put into me that I thought I deserved. You know, I gave so much to the sport from such a young age, and I was getting nothing back training wise and fighting wise. You know, I was going out there and, you know, like there was times where my amateur club wasn't putting in the work that they should have been putting into me for a senior athlete and I was running the roads, and I was doing everything in my power to better myself, you know, and to get to the top in the amateur sport. You know, I had boxed for Ireland a couple of times, I'd won a couple of national titles, I'd been to the European Championships, and anyone would be a fool for you to say when you're 16 or 17 and you're training alongside Olympians for a couple of weeks that you don't want to go to the Olympics, you know. And it was just hard for me because, like I said, I'd never got that break in the amateurs. So I sat down, I weighed up my options. I didn't want to go to anybody other than Pascal Collins, and for the simple reason was because of Spike O'Sullivan and obviously his brother Steve, and I just knew they had such a great gym, you know, and they were straight shooters. So I sat at home and just, obviously I'm kind of bouncing on from things, but look, I have 2 little girls and they're flying now, thank God. Raina's actually doing really well, such a smart kid, and you know, they for a 2 and a 1 year old, they know everything. Like they know boxing's such a big thing in their life already. I wouldn't ever leave them do it. I couldn't stop them, but I wouldn't want them. They're too pretty. They're pretty. They're like their mommy. So they get their look from their mom. I look like she's not.
She's gonna love you.
But she's the same thing as well. My girlfriend, she's very, very supportive to everything that I do, you know, and she always has been. She puts a lot and sacrifices a lot, you know. We're only 22. We have 2 girls. 2 of us love the girls to bits, but there is a lot of sacrifice with money and, you know, and things like that. And any boxer that's trying to make it are in the same boat, you know. They mightn't have kids, but they have other struggles, you know. And she sits by me and she supports me, you know, and I'm kind of at my last bit of a weight cut for the fight coming up, and she'll reassure me, you know, like obviously there's a couple of chocolate bars in the press and you'll be eyeing them up, especially when you're really hungry and you get those cravings for sweets and chocolate and stuff that, like I said, we have such a bad year, and I was eating them nearly every day, nearly, when I shouldn't have been, but just gone into that mental state. And she's there and she's sitting back and she's reassuring me, and she keeps bringing back up the fight, you know, and she's just really good to have around, and I am grateful, like, and that's being deadly honest. She's a keeper. So
as I say,
but
you and me both, mate. You and me both. You know, honestly, It's like through lockdown, you know. I think especially, you know, being blokes, we always want to be the one that doesn't show the emotion. You know, you don't want to show a weakness. I know it's not as that case really, but that's the feeling a bloke has, and you know, when you've got a good wife partner beside you, you know, it makes a hell of a difference. You know, we've got 4 kids, and you know, you think you're mad, mate. I'll tell you, just yeah, too. But it is that they are your driving force. You know that.
Of course, and
they are. You know, you keep that, mate, because honestly, that's something really special to have. You know, to go in the ring and have that mindset, because when things are really tough and when things are difficult, you know, when you're doing that run, when you're doing your training and you're thinking, oh, I just can't do it anymore. To have that picture of them is just, that's it, isn't it? That's it.
That's it. And like, yeah, and like, you hit the nail on the head really there. Like, no, you do have those runs, you do have those days, and you do have like those sparring sessions where you didn't turn up in the sparring sessions. And I always believe, and I always say to myself, you know, I'd rather have bad sparring days than bad performance in a ring, you know. And I think obviously I'm either learning something new, or I've had a lot on my plate and the stress has got over to me more, so I'm taking out more anger than what I am. And that's all character building, you know, and that's all building in your fight game. And look, like I said, my eldest one showed me something that I had never seen. From such a small baby, she was only 3 pounds, and from such a small baby to have so much fight, and even growing up, like, she's still such a petite little girl, you know, and she's as tough as nails, you know. She falls on the ground and it's just, she gets back up and she goes, you know. It just feels like, to me, it's like as if, like, she already knows, like, I've been through so much, so what can a little fall do to me? Or, you know, what can this do to me?
Basically, like, innit? What's this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's that kind of attitude. But I have to say, she'll only get that attitude surrounded by the parents she's got. So hats off to you, mate, because you know that goes a long way to have parents like that will support, because it's easy to fall apart. It's so easy. So for you to be a strong unit as a couple, will, you know, the kids pick up on stuff that you don't even know that they're picking up on. So, you know, hats off to you, mate. I really mean it, you know.
Thanks. But look, like everybody, you have your dark days as well, you know. But like I said, I have the 3 girls and they stay by me, you know, and they're that driving force. And I think that's, out of everything, they're the ones that are going to drive me to my ambitions. I want to be a world champion, and I believe that they believe that too, you know. My fight with my first professional fight is on YouTube, and from time to time my little one will ask to put it on TV, you know. She knows, and she'll say, "Daddy, boxing," you know, and you know exactly what she's on about, and she'll sit there and she'll watch it, you know. And you could put on anybody else fighting and
it's not
no really interest. It's not Daddy, no. And I love that, and I love how she knows what I do, you know. Like, I leave home the last couple of weeks to go to Dublin, you know. I'm kind of nearly just only home on the weekends and stuff, and I stay up with Spike up in the hotel, and he has to leave his family as well. And any man will tell you, from being far away, like I said, the best thing that did happen out of all the bad things, the best thing was being able to spend all this time with the girls, you know, to actually have nearly a year out and not travel as much, and just to spend time, quality time with them. It's brilliant. And I just found the first couple of weeks going back up to Dublin, it's hard, and it's very hard, because the phone unfortunately doesn't hug or kiss you back, and you know, and when they ask you to come home, and you know you can't, but they're so small, they don't understand, and they won't really remember these things. But I'm sitting up in that bed up in Dublin, and I'm saying to myself, I'm going to make it worthwhile, you know. And Spike's kids are that little bit older, and they're on the phone, and they understand, and they already know, you know. They, like, he has started to receive the benefits, you know. And every fighter just wants the best for their family, you know. And look, I've just started my family a little bit younger than other people, but that's my responsibility and they're my responsibility. And look, we're all fighters at the end of the day, but my job now is to look out for my family. And when that tough time comes, like you said, especially in the ring, when you have to bite down on that gum shield and there's a hard round and you question yourself then, do I want to be here? Of course I do. You know, I love boxing, but I love my family more, you know, and they're the ones that are going to pull me through that round, you know, and they're the faces I'm going to see, you know. And you can say what you like, you know, every fighter is going to get put down in a fight. Fellas are going to get stopped, you know, it could be due to injury, due to a punch. It's nearly inevitable, you know. The best of the best it's happened to. And it's at those moments where that's when those thoughts come in, you know. I spoke to you a little bit earlier on as well, Joel. With this fight coming up, I'm not bothered about crowds. I'm not bothered about anybody being there. I'd love my family to be there.
His name is Goran Suzovic.
Yeah, well, I will tell you.
Because you knew
that. Yeah. I won't be able to pronounce that, to be honest with you. Goran. That's about as much as you're getting out of me.
Mate, just stick with Goran like I do with Rhys. Just stick with it.
Yeah, that's it. Goran. But look, Joel, I would love my family to be there. Of course, like my mom and my dad are very big supporters as well, you know, and they're sad that they can't go over. But look, this is just unfortunately things we have to do to get over and to get some fights, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't take anything I take everything with a pinch of salt, you know. I don't believe in a fight is easy, you know. It might be on paper, it might not be on paper, you know. People are very easy to criticize fighters, you know, and people aren't very honest. And I be honest with you with that, Joel. You know, people can say one thing on the camera, and they couldn't look you dead in the eyes and say that they have massive respect for fighters to jump in the ring, you know, and it takes guts and balls to get in there and do it, you know, and this is us, and, you know, we put our life on the line for entertainment. But you will get people that will slag and slate people, you know. Yeah. And unfortunately, people just want to sound good for the camera, and they want to be like.
A lot of the time is they're jealous, mate. That's the problem. And, you know, they look at themselves and they think, you know, oh, he's doing well. Let's put him down. You'll get the press doing it. You'll get news doing it. You get all sorts of people doing it. But at the end of the day, you know how much training you've been. You know how much dedication what you're doing it for. Those people don't know your backgrounds. They don't know your situations.
Yeah,
it's down to you to go out there and put it right, isn't it? And to show them that, you know, on March the 20th, there's going to be another clip on YouTube that your daughter's going to watch and be proud of her dad. And that's all it's going to come down to.
Yeah, and that's it. And like I said, I take everything with a pinch of salt. I don't everybody is people will stop in. They'll ask you about your opponent and stuff. I don't read into that kind of things. It's just a man in front of me, you know. And I have this thing, and I've got it long ago when I was only a youth, and people used to tell me that you're not beating this guy, you know. This fella he's 10 times Irish champion, or he's European champion. And, you know, sometimes I've had trainers tell me that I couldn't beat a fighter, you know, and that kills me. That kills me because they don't know what I can do in that ring. You know, people say, yeah, I know what he's capable of doing, but they don't, because if I got the right training put into me, if I got everything down to a T, if I knew I was 100% going into a fight, I think I can beat anybody. And I think that's a mentality you need to have as a fighter. You know, obviously there's nerves and there's all these kind of stuff that will come with it. But I think truly, weeks, months, years away from a fight, you have to have that mentality. You're better than anybody else that steps into that ring. You know, you also hear a lot of things in the amateurs. Cubans are the best fighters in the world, you know. and straight away it's like the Cubans and the Russians. They're the competition to beat, you know.
Yeah.
But they're so focused on that, right? And that they're getting bet off of countries they shouldn't be getting bet off, because their standard is 5 times higher than that. But they're so worried on who's the best in the world is, you know. And like that, to me, I go over there in March. If it's that guy that you called out that I'm fighting, so be it. If I'm fighting a fella that's 3-4-0, so be it. If I'm fighting a fella that has 100 losses, so be it. I don't care. It's just a person in front of me. I'm better than him in my head. I don't care what his record is. I don't take records. I'm going out there to fight him, and that's that. I'm going out there to get my hand raised, come home, chill out, get the pizza, and weigh up my options. And hopefully then that'll be as much celebrating as I do. I don't drink or anything like that, so it's just literally a bit of food, a bit of nice food, and hopefully then I can get another bit of fight news and get back out there again and keep the ball rolling, you know.
Well,
excuse me.
Hopefully the way things are going, it sounds like, you know, that we're kind of heading in that direction, doesn't it? Where things are going to start opening up a bit more, and we're going to be heading in that direction, as it were, to get stuff opening and get people back out again. So, you know, Rhys, it's, you know, all you've got to do is, as you say, beat who's in front of you, and then the rest gets put into place, doesn't it? And whoever, you know, you just got to be ready and keep doing what you're doing, mate, because you're doing it. Do you know what I mean? You're doing it. So
yeah, look, my dad is a very straight and honest man, you know, and he's always been honest from day one. Like, you know, he would let you know, like, you were shit today, you know. Like I said, like in boxing, since some kid, and he'd let you know, like, that was, what were you doing? That was like, you weren't even half yourself. What was the problem? What was this? And even the days where you boxed out of your skin, and that was better today. That's all you get. And then I would know when I go out and I come back and I can hear him out on the phone to one of his mates. He was unbelievable. He bet this fella, and he had, and he was brilliant. And I know when my dad is proud of me, you know. And like I said, my mom and dad are very big in supporting me, and I have a big family. I have 5 sisters and a brother as well, you know. So I have big support at home, and that's all that kind of really matters to me, is my own little family and my family at home. And other than that, I just want to keep doing them proud. I want to do myself proud. I want to be a world champion. I want to prove to Pascal Collins that the youngest guy in the gym will bring back a world title to his gym, you know. I want to prove to him that I want to put in all this hard work, that everything I do is worth it, you know. I'm not here for the money, and everybody says this, but I'm not. Money isn't a thing to me. Being honest with you, I live off €190 a week. It's fuck all, and it's because of my boxing. You know, like, if it was about money for me, I wouldn't be doing this. And it's just, I see myself, and I've always seen myself being someone, making it somewhere, you know. And I've never had anything easy. I've never had anything just thrown on a plate. Yeah, look, you're going off here, or, you know, like, some people might get that lucky break, or some fellas after breaking his hand, you're going onto the squad, onto the world, for the world championships, or look here, look, you put your name in a hat after getting 10 grand. Like, it's never happened for me like that, you know. I've had struggles, and I've had things that happen, like my little girl, you know. That was a hard thing to take 2 years ago, nearly 3 years ago actually. She's 3 in July, and that was a hard thing to come across. But like I said, everybody has their own struggles. I've had mine. To be honest with you, I don't think anything could get as worse or get any way harder for me than what it has been already. Yeah. So me going into the ring and fighting a Mexican toe to toe for 12 rounds for a world title, I'm coming out with that world title. I don't care if I have to be stretchered out after the fight. I'm coming out with a world title. And that's just the mentality I have. I won't give up for no one. I won't stop for no one. I don't care if I'm getting battered in a ring. Do you know what I mean? That's it. That's the way I'm leaving, and that's the mentality I've always had. And it's not stupid or bravery. It's just the way I am. I don't expect everybody to be the same. We're not the same, you know. And going back to, like I said, the amateurs, everyone thinks the Cubans and the Russians are the best. And the reason why they're the best is because they believe that they're the best.
Yeah.
They're not in their camp, and they're not sitting there with their newest iPhone and €300 or £300 worth of runners on their feet. They have nothing. You know, we have a kid in the gym, and he's the prime example of that. He comes from absolutely nothing, but by God, can he fight, you know? And nobody knows about this guy, and soon they will. And
what like was that, his name, Rhys? What was his name?
Jesus. Great guy. And he has a kind heart. Like I said, everybody in the gym, we're all there to support each other. We're like a family. We're a very close community up there. And I tell you, he is just a prime example, and he makes you want to push. Even when you get to the gym, you know, like you said earlier on, my kids will push me to the right direction. But when you speak to this guy and he shows you where he's from and what he has had, what he's gone through to get to Ireland, to help him with where he wants to be, it's brilliant, because you can't get any closer to that. So it's like the Cubans, it's like the Russians. Not all of Russia is glamour, you know. They have their poverty. It's such a big country. And then Cuba is the same. Everybody knows what Cuba is like. So to them, they want to make themselves something, you know. I think a lot of people still have the mentality. I just think I'm real old school, and I think my dad has me like that. And I think Spike is, I think Pascal is, and everybody else in the gym is the same thing, you know. You're real hard knock. Like, everyone believes and knows their worth, you know, in the gym. And I think that's why we get on, and we all have kind of, like you said, we're all kind of similar in the gym. And that's why, you know, like, everybody has their own bit of personality. Like, I'm talking like a real humble kind of guy in that, but I have a real fun side to me as well. You know, I'm a real people's person. I'm not a cocky guy, but I'm a confident guy, you know, and that's just the way it is. The Mexicans, they're known as probably the best and the toughest guys in boxing, you know. I have a firm belief, right? If you sit and you go over your stuff, prime example is Steve Collins with Chris Eubanks.
Yeah.
The psychological side of that was phenomenal, you know. He had him believing that he was in this trance, that he wasn't going to feel any shots, he wasn't going to do it. That was, personally myself, I think that was for him to believe. Now, I don't actually know the full story, but I think that was for him to believe that whatever Chris throws at me tonight, I don't care what his record is. I don't care what he has, what he throws at me. He could throw a bomb at me. I don't care. It's not going to faze me. I'm coming out tonight the champion, and that's that. I'm fighting him in Cork, Ireland, in my own country, in a packed out arena. I'm not coming out without that title. And that's the mentality you have to have. Me, I'm a nobody now. I could be a somebody in a couple of years. But if there's a Mexican who thinks that, and people say, oh, he's highly rated, he's the hardest hitter, he hasn't met me yet. He doesn't know what I'm like, you know, and that's the mentality you have to have, you know. So, look, by the sounds of it, I'm talking a big game. I can bottle it there in 2 weeks' time.
Let's hope you get the job done in Belgium, mate.
Oh, let's hope so.
Well, I tell you, this video is going viral for all the wrong reasons. But no, honestly, I'm right behind you, mate. Honestly, 100%. You know, you don't just say it; you back it up. And you had a good, you know, amateur career. You worked hard. You're still working hard now. You got your first professional win, which is probably the toughest because of your pressure. And you've gone and done it. And now it's on to the next one, and then the next one, and the next one. And you're just going to keep going, mate. And, you know, as I say, you're welcome on here anytime, Rhys, because you're an absolute diamond, mate. And
thank you. You know, I appreciate that. And look, I just want to thank you for having me on this big time. It's great to have a chat and to talk boxing. It's hard to find people that actually want to talk boxing and talk normality as well, and talk about personal things. Real life things. Everybody just knows you as, oh yeah, you're just a boxer. Not everybody really knows what you've gone through. I've such a big story to tell, and I could be here for a day to tell you, but I won't do that to you. I won't bore you. But look, I am looking forward to the fight. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm working hard in the gym. I have the great lads around me. I actually, to me, it's the best gym in the world. Boxing wise, knowledge, the humble. Like I said, Spike O'Sullivan is boxed at such a high level. He's boxed all the top guys, has beaten off world champions. Do you know what I mean? That's it.
You've just blown up his ego, mate. You've just blown his ego through the roof.
You know what?
I would have picked someone else first, to be fair. But you've gone with Spike. Reel them off, mate. Reel them off. Who's down there at the gym with you? Who's down there?
Yeah. So who's down there? Nia Kennedy's there. Ray Moylett, Eric Donovan, Niall O'Connor, Jesus, that Venezuelan kid. Daniel is a great guy. He does a bit of training, but he also he's not professional yet. Very good fighter to watch out for. Hopefully soon he will turn over. He'll be a corner man as well with Pascal Collins. My sparring partner actually, Podge Collins. It'd be a Collins, so the Hardy boys, So there, look. I think I've nailed everybody down. I think
and the rest.
I did, yeah, and the rest of the boys. But look, I'm in such a positive gym. Like I said, I'm sharing a room with a guy that has only come up short against world champions, and I do believe he will be a world champion very soon. He's in great condition. I hate to blow him up, because genuinely, his head, if it gets any bigger, he's already after getting a hip replacement,
Mate, as you know, I spoke to him the other day, and he was an absolute nightmare. But he's a good lad. He's helping out a lot as well. So
yeah, and look, he has a heart of gold. But again, it's all humbleness. There's a guy that's has got to the top and is still getting to the top. He hasn't quite made it because he still hasn't got his world title, and he's still on the chase for that world title. And he will get it because I believe he will, and everybody in the gym believes he will, and he believes it himself. That's the main thing, and he's the guy that you need to be around. Yeah. He still walks into the gym with a tracksuit on. He doesn't walk into the gym with a suit on and look at you like, who are you? I'm a 22-year-old. That's only starting out in my career. And I'm sharing a room with him, and he's telling me how he started his career, where he started. He's brought me to places where he stayed when he first started out, where he used to run and do his track sessions. And to me, that means everything to me, because, listen, as well as I do, you could be training in Floyd Mayweather's gym or Canelo Alvarez's gym. They're not taking you out for strolls or walking down and showing you, this is where I used to train. This is where I had to stay for 13 years in hail, rain or snow, get the bus or the train up here, and it is hard. And I've done certain sacrifices similar to what Spike has. So I understand and I know how hard it is, so to have that around, and a guy that's fought Sky Sports for Golden Boy in front of Oscar De La Hoya, in front of millions, thousands of people, and to still come back and give you respect like he's talking to a 5-time world champion.
He's giving you time. That's precious, isn't it?
That's it. And he give anybody time, and he's just a real good guy. And I can genuinely, the same thing with Pascal Collins, real straight shooter guy, and he's been so good to me since I've come to the gym. But I can see why Spike has started and will finish his career with Pascal, They're 13 years in with each other now, and you can see why. Pascal looks after his fighters. more than anyone else, and that's a fact. And I'm just blessed. I'm lucky to be in such a good gym, you know, with such good people. All the other lads as well, we all push and bounce off each other, and we're really looking forward to this trip, you know. We're all coming back winners, regardless.
Well, as I say, I'll be watching from home, mate, and I'll be cheering you all on for definite.
Yeah, nice ones, Owen.
I'm looking forward to it. You know, I'm sure the wife will love it because it's just going to be like, I think Spot's commentating as well. So
yeah, well, oh Jesus,
it's just going to be Irish accent. She's just going to be melting in the chair, to be honest. But it's going to be good, mate, and I wish you all the best. But before you go,
I appreciate you.
2 questions.
Go on.
Frampton versus Herring in a couple of weeks' time. Who's winning?
I think Frampton wins. It'd be nice to see him make history. I think he's training really hard, and with everything that he had gone through or was going through with McGuigan's, I think that's laid to bed now, and his mind is fully focused again. So I think he does it.
Next one, last one.
Go ahead.
Fury versus AJ. I drop this on everyone. No one sits on the fence. Who are you going with?
AJ, very good technical. I just think Fury is that big guy that causes way too much problems. Very awkward, very elusive for a heavyweight. I just think Fury is a nightmare for him, you know. So I go with Fury.
Yeah. It's going to be a corker, Fury, mate, regardless. It's going to be a cracker.
Well, yeah, it is. It's going to be a great fight, and I think as well the other side of it then as well is, by the looks of it, Fury's starting to find a bit of power. You know, what he done to Wilder in the last fight, you know, he hasn't really ever done that. Like, yeah, and so it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting because someone that had a little bit of power put Anthony Joshua on the canvas, you know. So yeah, Fury. I think Fury is just, he's too awkward, too big, and too elusive for Joshua. You know, he'll be a nightmare for him. Joshua is just a real stand-up kind of guy, you know, and the straight shots, the Gypsy King. He's left, he's right, he's back, he's forward, he's on top of you, he's everywhere, you know. So he's a nightmare for the likes of Anthony Joshua, you know.
No.
But who knows? Who knows? We could say that then, and Anthony Joshua.
Oh no, you can't start with this. You can't start backpedaling. You've said Gypsy King. It's been written down.
I said Gypsy King. Yeah.
But honestly, Rhys, it's been an absolute pleasure, mate. And welcome on any time. I might even get you on with the other lads just for a giggle at one point.
Of course, 100%. And I'll be on it. I'll be a laugh on their one because I can actually slag someone then, you know.
No, it's all good. And as I say, love to your family, mate. And I wish you
for
March.
Thanks very much. And I wish you all the health in the world, and that you keep safe over the next little while. And then we get back to normality, and we get you over for some shows and stuff. And hopefully if this show does happen in my own home city, you know, I have really good support down here, and that so we can get you over. I'll put you up in the hotel and that, like I was putting Spike up and stuff anyway. So I'll look after you in that way as well. We get you over to a good event.
I'd sleep on a floor. Don't worry about it, mate.
Like us all then.
You're like, sod the hotel then. You can have the floor. No, I really appreciate it, Rhys. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
No problem. I'll speak to you soon.
You do. All the best. Thanks very much, Joel.
No worries. Take care, mate.
See you later.
See you later.
333. 33.
I'll show the video after.
See you later, Joel.
Take care, mate. See you later.
All the best, man.
See ya. Well, Rhys, what a little diamond. He's got so much passion, and the drive he's got with his family behind him, and you know what he's been through. He's going to use that to really sort of push him forward in boxing and in his career, and I wish him all the best. So yeah, you've been listening to JG's Fight Talk as always, sponsored by Rich's Boxing. So yeah, thank you very much and take care.